The rain drummed rhythmically on the diner's glass windows. Outside, cars hissed across wet roads, and umbrellas bent against the wind. Inside, the soft clinking of plates, the aroma of cinnamon rolls, and the glow of amber lights gave the illusion of peace. But not for Jack Harmon. A 38-year-old former Army medic, Jack had seen war zones. He'd stitched wounds in burning fields, calmed frightened civilians, and carried fallen friends. Yet the hardest battle began after coming home, when he lost his wife Maya to ovarian cancer. She had been his compass. His strength. And when she died, he was left with a 5-year-old daughter and a heart full of unanswered questions. Now, 2 years later, Jack was trying to rebuild life, brick by fragile brick, for the sake of his daughter, Lily. They entered Maplewood Diner, a quaint, family-owned place they'd visited every Saturday since Maya's death. For Lily, it meant pancakes and crayons. For Jack, it was a ritual. A thread of routine in a life that had unraveled. "Do you think Miss Angela's working today?" Lily asked, eyes hopeful. Angela had been their regular waitress. Friendly, older, with a fondness for Lily's drawings. But tonight, someone else approached. A young waitress in a faded uniform with frayed cuffs and messy brown hair approached with hesitant steps. She looked like she hadn't eaten a full meal in days. Her name tag, Emily. She smiled nervously, but Jack noticed her eyes didn't smile with her. "Hi, welcome. Can I get you started with something to drink?" Lily stared. "Daddy, she's got owies," she whispered, pointing subtly at Emily's arm. Emily instinctively pulled her sleeve down, wincing. Jack looked closely. There were fresh bruises, the kind you couldn't get from a fall. Jack had seen those marks before, on soldiers who had survived abuse, on women at shelters he'd volunteered in. They weren't from clumsiness. They were from control. Violence. Grip. Busy night? Jack asked softly, as she poured water. Yeah. Slipped near the backroom, mop bucket. She avoided eye contact. But her lie trembled. Jack said nothing, but filed the detail away. The kitchen door swung open with a loud clang, and a broad-shouldered man with a red face and greasy apron stepped out. "Emily. You forget table 6 again. You dumb or what?" Emily visibly jolted. Her hand shook so badly, the water nearly spilled. Jack stared at the man, Vince, the manager. His tone wasn't just harsh. It was designed to humiliate. When Emily returned with their coffee and cutlery, she was shaking. I'm so sorry, this is late, Jack gave her a warm smile. "You're okay. Really?" But she was already halfway turned, shoulders tight, like she expected to be yelled at for not moving fast enough. That wasn't service anxiety. That was fear conditioning. Emily bent down to pick up a fallen napkin and her sleeve slid again. Jack saw her elbows. Raw, red, like they had been scrubbed against concrete. Not from work. From punishment. The kind of bruises you don't get unless someone makes you get them. Jack watched Vince glare at Emily. He didn't just look annoyed, he looked like a predator who enjoyed watching her squirm. He walked up to her near the counter. "No yelling now, just a hissed whisper. You keep messing up, you're done. No last check. Got it?" Emily nodded frantically, eyes shining with held-back tears. Jack had seen enough. Back in their booth, Lily was quietly drawing with crayons. "Daddy, that man scares her. Can we help her?" Jack exhaled slowly. "Maybe we can." He waited until Emily brought their bill. "He's hurting you, isn't he?" She stiffened. No, I'm just clumsy. He just yells sometimes. It's fine." Jack leaned forward. "Emily. I know the signs. You're not fine. You don't have to stay quiet. Tears pooled in her eyes. My mom's gone. I take care of my little brother. He's 10, he has leukemia. Vince knows I can't leave. He pays cash. If I report him, we lose our apartment. Jack's voice dropped. What if I could help? She shook her head. No one can. I've tried. People don't believe girls like me. Just then, Vince's voice echoed again. Emily. I swear if you keep wasting time, you'll be begging for change outside. She flinched and ran. Jack's hands curled into fists. But his training taught him, anger doesn't fix things. Action does. Jack told Lily to stay put, grabbed his phone, and marched to the kitchen. You Vince? He asked. Vince smirked. Yeah. What's it to you? You're done hurting that girl. Excuse me? Jack pulled out his phone, video already rolling. This whole night, your behavior. I've recorded it. If you even look at her the wrong way again, I'll make sure every media outlet and police officer in this town knows your name. You think I care? She needs this job. She won't say a thing. She won't have to. I will. Vince lunged, but Jack was quicker. One smooth military block, and Vince was against the counter. Try me again, and it's assault on a veteran with a minor present. You'll enjoy explaining that in court. Jack walked out, handed Emily a card with the number for a women's legal aid organization and a shelter. You're not alone anymore. That night, Jack called the local reporter who covered workplace abuse cases. The story aired within 48 hours, and soon, other waitresses came forward. Turns out, Vince had a record. Threats. Unpaid wages. Groping. Emotional abuse. But no one had ever had proof. Now they did. Vince was fired. Then charged. Emily got a restraining order, therapy sessions paid for by a fund Jack started online. Donations poured in from all over. Jack even contacted a children's cancer nonprofit. They took on her brother's case. 2 months later, the diner had a new manager. Emily walked to their booth. Hair in a neat bun, wearing fresh clothes and a badge that said, Shift Supervisor. Guess who's starting nursing school next fall? She beamed. Jack smiled proudly. Lily handed her a drawing, a girl standing in the rain with an umbrella, Jack beside her holding it up. Emily knelt and hugged them both. You saved my life. No, Jack said gently. You just needed someone to remind you that you're worth saving. To be silent in the face of abuse is to let it grow. But one voice, one ordinary act of courage, can ripple through a life and change everything. Because sometimes, heroes don't wear capes. They wear tired boots, hold their daughter's hand, and sit quietly in a diner, until they decide to stand up.